now we finally get to go to the Gold Saucer.
Yay!
One of those bits that they love so much, they added it to Final Fantasy 14.
Damn. Lay down, quit being obnoxious. I already said hi, gave you pets, called you stinky. Lay down.
He is a stinky puppy.
Lay down on that pillow. It's so comfortable. I brought it for you and me, but you use it. Why do you look so sad? Dog. Who's this bald guy?
I don't know, he's just hanging out, and he tells you that some guy in a black cape, Cloud's eyes right there, just sliding off like eggs.
Cloud, you look terrible.
What do you mean? And one eye is directly above the other, and they're both in the center of his face.
The fuck is that sun doing?
Giving you all the lens flare.
It's like green and shit.
Yeah. Oh man, I cut it out. There's another one of those mini games there where you're going over the railroad tracks, and periodically Cloud will stop, and he's like, "Uh-oh," and he rocks back and forth, and if you don't press a button, he'll fall down, and you can move left or right, and depending on which direction you go, as you're climbing up, you can collect a different item.
What's that drawing?
I don't know. I feel like it's one of those drawings that would make more sense if we were natives of Japan.
Yeah.
Right? Those symbols around it are probably identifiable as well. Just, they don't mean anything to us. Be like if we were playing the game, there's just a drawing of a sub sandwich. It's like in our culture, that's obviously a signifier for food.
And this guy sells babies?
I guess.
Step right up, we got some babies, we got white babies, we got more white babies. Not a whole lot of black babies.
Turns out the market's flooded with white babies because people think that white babies are what people want.
We got tasty babies, we got...
We got bland babies. We got spicy babies. We got sweet and sour babies.
We got crazy babies.
This baby will cut you.
This baby comes with 5 razor blades.
DollarShaveClub.com. The Gold Saucer sign has always weirded me out because it's all faded and there appears to be a picture of a sad girl in the back.
Makes sense.
I wanted to go to the theme park, but Shinra burned down my town.
Oh, really?
So something else that makes this game's story very human is that this whole game is about moving on from your past trauma. You know, every one of these characters in front of us is broken in some way. They're all holding on to something which is holding them back. Either their personal failings, their weaknesses, their relationships, anything like that. And this game is all about just letting go and moving on and not letting that poison your future. And that kid's being chased by 2 dogs. And they just disappeared into the ether.
And then the kid turns around and there's 3 kids chasing the dogs. I'm super cool, but I'm gonna die.
Oh, you're coal miners? I don't know. Kind of being left behind.
Kind of feeling a little marginalized here.
You know dying is important because he has his own character model. Whereas everyone else you've seen at some point before. No one uses coal nowadays, but we need government subsidies. It's the only jobs around. No, we can try to pursue, like, future... Oh, Jesus Christ, this is what's going on right now. Except solar isn't sucking the life out of the planet. No one uses coal. How about we invest in developing technologies which can revolutionize our own economies? No, we mine coal. My dad died in a coal mining accident. His dad died in a coal mining accident. His dad died in a coal mining accident. Don't you deny my child the sight of my crushed corpse being dragged out of a collapsed cave. Don't you do that to him. This isn't even about me. He has the right to know that his father died buried under 7 tons of ancient coal.
And then one day I'll become that coal. And then my son will burn me.
Fire.png.
I know.
Yeah, how many frames is it even? That's like 3 or 4. I think it's 3. It's just 3 fires.png.
It was some intern's job was to take their like little shitty point and shoot camera and start a fire and take pictures of it.
Go start a fire in the green room. Just be very careful about it. What are we gonna eat for breakfast if we don't mind coal? Huh? Tell me I can have my scrambled coal?
My coal cakes.
My braised coal?
Cup of cold coffee.
My coleslaw? Get it?
Hey.
Just turns to the camera. Get it? Butts back.
God damn it. So you want to just tell us a sad story, then expect us to go have a fun time?
Jeez, Barrett, way to be that guy. Dinah's my best friend.
We was close.
Yeah, there are moments where they should have not had Barrett talk in that way.
There was one sentence he said, it had like at least 3 apostrophes, and
Oh,
it was
yeah.
like, yo, come on,
Yo, yiggity.
yes,
Ki-
bitches. Scissorp.
That wasn't even a thing in 97.
It was ahead, they were ahead. Way ahead.
This is where they got it from.
I love the quality of these, like just the way it changes.
Yeah. So you know immediately, oh, this is a cutscene.
Mm. Whoa.
My disc is only slightly messed up, but it messes up at this point.
She's fucking way up there.
This seems like not the best way to build a theme park. But I played this on the digital version that I bought on PSN back in 2009, like right after this game came out on PSN. So I didn't have that problem. But if I play this game on disc, I'll get to this point and it'll be going up this monorail and it'll just freeze.
That sucks.
And it'll keep going again. The disc isn't broken; it just has problems here. Which for a 20-year-old disc, fine.
This one sign just said ghost.
Yeah, they're just ghosts. And then this Moogle vomits you up into here.
What a great entrance, like
Yeah.
the balloons and
Uh-huh.
everything. That was fucking great.
God, as a kid, I just came to the Gold Saucer a lot. Played all its mini games.
Yeah, it's a fun break.
Yeah. Like my brothers would ask to play this game just so I could like load up this area and they could play the various mini games available.
The eyes on that fucking thing in the welcome sign is perfect. The gold saucer would be good reference for like the floating clown city.
Oh yeah,
Every little pod being basically like a big top.
Yeah, exactly. With its own kind of biome, essentially. Or it's like, oh, this is where they do X, and this is where they do Y.
Ghost Square. Battle Square. Chocobo Square?
Ooh.
Let's go. No, go with me
Yeah.
instead.
Yeah, literally. Just act normal when this happens. Come on.
And Barrett's like, well, maybe I wanted to go with Cloud. Fuck. Yuffie does not. She looks dumbstruck. She's just standing completely still.
Yeah.
I imagine it cutting to her face, and she's just got huge pupils and just drooling. Like, what is happening?
Oh, she doesn't give a fuck about what's going on.
She just wants to steal things.
Yeah.
Look at those hue sliders for the portals.
Oh, yeah.
Color picker portals.
Mm-hmm. I want this specific blue. Hooray. You know, I have a hard time when I play this game. When I was replaying it for this playthrough, actually, I was trying to think about how good is this game at letting you know what to do next, and I realized it's impossible for me to judge that because I just know where to go so thoroughly that I go there. Like, I guess you could putz around in the gold saucer all you want, and then eventually wind up here. I forgot what I called him in my preparatory playthrough, so for the time being, he's going to be Kate Shits. But once we load that up, he'll be called Satchmo. Kate Sith is a character I want to sit down with the director of this game and ask, what was the deal?
Yeah, like, where?
Like, nothing about it makes sense. Even when they start to explain, like, oh, it's basically a robot being piloted by some guy back in Midgar. It still doesn't make sense, especially when you get to Advent Children, where it seems like the cat portion is real.
Yeah.
But it can't be real because they both get destroyed in the Temple of the Ancients. So what's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think at some point they're like, man, I wish that we just made Kate Sith like an actual living thing on its own, because...
Like, make Kate Sith basically the pilot of the Moogle suit, and then at that moment in the Temple of the Ancients just, like, sent the Moogle suit in. Because it doesn't make sense at all.
They just wanted to sell some toys, man.
Also, I don't know if they even sold toys. But
they should have.
They should have, yeah. They sold Crash Bandicoot toys I didn't know about. Till I started finding them on eBay. And I'm like, oh, that's actually a really good looking toy, but I'm not spending $60 on it. I'm not spending $100 on that one. And Kate Sith, functionally, doesn't mirror any of the other characters. He only has 2 limit breaks. Doesn't have a final limit break at all.
Weird.
It's odd.
Time to do some Moogle fucking.
This game gave me the most trouble for a while. When I eventually... It was one of those moments where I figured it out, and I was like, oh, of course, that's so easy. Oh, man, I'm older than the smog now. Damn it.
Peepa Pope.
That's 28 in human years. Man, I'm 30.
First needs to learn how to fly.
I still can't fly.
Not flying at 28?
I know. Well, how pathetic do you think I feel? I'm 30 and I can't fly.
What are they really trying to say? I love how this whole thing looks, though, like that mushroom coming out of the stump.
Yeah.
It's like as if the tree trunk is waving at you anyway. It's like, hello.
So as a kid, I just kept hammering the circle button and feeding him nuts until it wouldn't let me feed him any more nuts. So, of course, he would just fall to the ground.
How many nuts you gotta give him?
I think it varies, but eventually it gives you a tell. Because if you need to feed him more nuts, he'll do that move where his stomach growls and he bends over. Once you fed him the right number of nuts, he'll like hop up and down all happy. This is one of the Crash Bandicoot toys, by the way.
Oh, rad.
Yeah, it's just a Coco with a penguin and what looks like an alligator thing. There's actually a shitload of them. There's that one. There's a few Crash ones. I know I'm a fucking adult, but there are a few toys I would collect if they were not prohibited. That's the move he does when he's good and full. But there are a few toys I would collect if it wasn't prohibitively expensive.
Yeah.
Or if I just came into some money all of a sudden.
Or if you found one at a thrift store for like $5.
Oh, sir, that's the thing. If I found one at a thrift store, I would snap it up.
Like, I'll give you 4 for this.
Yeah. Like the woman who found a copy of the most valuable video game at a thrift store for like $5.
What was it?
It's some track and field game for the NES. It's rare because they only made a handful of copies of it, like fewer than 10,000, I think, and then they rebranded the game, so it's a common game. It's just that the initial printing was very limited and different from what they did later. But as a video game, there's nothing to it. It's not interesting. It's mostly just valuable because it's so valuable. Like, it's its own self-sustaining sense of value. But she found a copy at a thrift store for like $5 to $10, and it was an unopened, still in the shrink wrap video game for the
Jeez.
NES, and she ended up selling it for I think 30 grand.
Fuck.
Yeah,
I want to find that.
just one of those fucking windfalls. I think what I need to do is every other Sunday or Saturday or just something, just make out a map of all the local Goodwills and all the various thrift stores and just go to them.
Yeah.
And see what I can find. Like back in February, I think I was downtown with Ethel, and she went to dinner with a friend, and I did some other stuff on my own. And while I was just walking around, I happened into a Goodwill to kill some time and to stay warm. It was cold. And as I'm looking around their bins, I found a near perfect Nintendo 64 controller for $5.
Fuck.
And that's not an extremely valuable item, but buying one, even a used one, still goes for usually between 15 and 20. So finding one on the shelf that wasn't busted, the joystick wasn't like all fucked up like one of the ones I have.
Oh yeah, they're all loose.
Yeah, like it's just an almost perfect controller. Just has a little bit of wear on it from people holding it. Like for $4 or $5, yeah, hell yeah.
It'd be cool to do like a road trip around some parts of the country that aren't as
Oh yeah,
populated.
yeah,
and just,
where people just don't get out to.
yeah, and then just check thrift stores and shit to see what you could find.
Come on, show her how well you can fly. Yeah, she's so wet right now. That's how you get a Lady Moogle hot and bothered, apparently.
You gotta eat nuts and fly around.
Yeah, and then she's like, yeah. Just getting hyped. Just getting hyped for you. But yeah, if I were to stumble across one of those Crash Bandicoot toys in a thrift store, I'd be like, yep, mine.
What a weird game to be playing at a place like the Golden Saucer. This is not the most exciting.
No, it's this weird story where all you do is feed nuts to a Moogle. I guess they just had to get Moogles into the game somehow, and they're like, this will do.
And then
Plus, Kate Sith can ride one.
imagine if this all of a sudden was like Frog Fractions, like if you to go the wrong direction, the game just, it's like Frog Fractions, the early years.
Oh yeah, like some precursor to Frog
Yeah.
Fractions, where if you do this in a certain way, it just actually opens up a whole involved game within the game.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be incredible.
Get up, you lazy fuck. Oh yeah, you're right.
Finn.
That's all, folks. You beat the game. That was Final Fantasy VII.
Like, here's another one of those Crash toys. It's a Crash in those underwater levels, but this one's 86.
Oh goddamn.
They're very expensive, and there aren't many of them on eBay, which makes me think that they might be genuinely rare. Which, again, if I came into some money, it might be one of those things where I'm like, this could potentially be an investment.
It's not how light works.
No, don't worry about it, though. This part of the game makes no sense to me. Dyne apparently somehow came all the way up and then shot all these people and then went all the way back down. I guess. I don't know. And then even though none of you have a gun, except for Barrett, of course, Dio is still like, did you kill these people?
Yeah.
Arrest them.
Gunshot to the butt. This is a Sephiroth.
He only shoots people in the balls if he uses a gun. And then later they just open this place up like it was no big deal. Like, yeah, a bunch of soldiers got killed who were here for some reason. So did two of our receptionists. Whatever.
But step right up to the family attraction and have a good time.
Although I think the implication is that with the Shinra Electric Company basically being the world's political power, anyone else with some money is effectively their own little, not tyrant exactly. I guess the term would be junta. Like they have their own little sovereignty that they've carved out. And so Dio, with his gold saucer, is in charge here and has absolute legal power over everything.
Walks around just in underwear.
Well, if you were built like Dio, you would too. If your arms were 4 circles,
Yeah.
and your legs were 2 oblongs and a paddle.
Man, I just got like a sudden craving out of nowhere for like chicken fried steak and mashed potatoes and country gravy. Like just, I don't know why. You ever have that where like your mind just accesses a taste and scent memory?
Yeah, definitely.
And it's like, remember what that tastes like? It sounds real good right now, doesn't it?
I get that all the time, but usually for pizza specifically. I think I haven't had pizza in a long time. I should make pizzas. God, I'll make pizza. It'd be good. Yeah. I think I'm going to do that sometime this week. Well, now we're in hell. Bait fucking Nakani may as well come walking over the hill.
Woo. Fucking shambling left and right. Oh my god. Oh, fuck.
Oh, by the way, I want to propose for the podcast.
Yeah.
We're doing D&D this week, but once we get into a regular podcast next week, for the movie intro, I think one of us should take charge of it and try to do the synopsis in like a 5-minute block.
Well, I kind of always hope Brian would take a little bit more charge over that part of the podcast, since it is like catered towards him, and he's Brian.
I'll propose it to him then as well.